So a billionaire's grandson knocks on factory workers' doors and he speaks Spanish while he's on the stump and he promises a government that will actually build things. In 1958, New York says yes, and Nelson Rockefeller steps into the spotlight. I'm Matt Hasquin. I'm a high school history teacher, and I'm here to take you through Billy Joel's We Didn't Start the Fire, line by line, lyric by lyric, and here we go with Rockefeller. So as we set the scene here to set the story up, right? So we're in New York. It's the late 1950s, and TV politics is maturing. The suburbs are booming, and voters want, well, competence over drama. And into that moment strides this fast-talking executive, and he's got a famous name, and he's got a builder's instinct. So who he is, who is Nelson Rockefeller? Well, he's a dynasty kid, sure, but he also is a career public servant. He spent his wartime work coordinating policy with Latin America. And then he was a senior strategy role that he maintained under President Eisenhower. He treats government like a giant project plan, deadlines, budgets, deliverables. He runs for governor of New York in 1958, and he wins. And he flips the state in a pretty tough year. On TV, he reads as optimistic and practical. Like he said, let's build what we keep talking about. So he's in office. How did he govern? Well, he looked at the university system. There was rapid expansion of state universities and community colleges in New York, so kids don't need a family fortune to get a degree. Highways and hospitals, he's like, yes, but also let's build art centers, museums, and parks. He argues that quality of life is infrastructure too. When it comes to public health and housing, more investment in mental health care and affordable housing, treating these things as essential, not extras. And then when it came time to pay for it, well, let's look at big bond issues to fund for the construction. Critics call it debt. Supporters call it, well, they call it vision that you can actually point to on a map. And when it comes to Rockefeller, you can say, well, like it's almost like civil rights republicanism. He's pro-business, he's pro-civil rights at the same time. He's backing fair practice standards and this broader social safety net. This is where Rockefeller Republican comes from. A centrist, managerial, coalition-minded. He believes a modern state can be both economically dynamic and socially responsible. Now, the centrism that he lives in, it puts him on a collision course for the party's up-and-coming, rising conservative wing. And the fights of the early 1960s, like hello Goldwater, right? They're coming. But in the late 50s, Rockefeller looks like the future. Let's build, let's include, let's keep moving. Why does it matter? Well, when Billy Joel sings Rockefeller, he's actually flagging a moment when American politics tried the competence plus compassion model at scale. You can still see it in campuses, cultural institutions, and the hospitals that came out of that vision. When we tie this all back to the song, from Nasser to Prokofiev, now Rockefeller, well, the lyric jumps from geopolitics and culture to domestic, let's get it done government. And that's a very kind of 1950s confidence. If you're from New York, did your town get a state campus? Did it get an art center? Did it get a hospital during this time? Leave the story behind. And I appreciate that. So next up, the next lyric we're looking at is Campanella. So I'll be talking about Roy Campanella. Thanks for watching.